Cool. So if I just sort of say the questions, and then I think it's better if we just keep it informal and we can all just jump in on stuff. We don't need to like take it in turns or whatever. I think just speak when you have something to say.
Okay.
That's cool. So the first one is, what was your favorite moment from the project? So the best bit or something that you enjoyed?
Me personally, I enjoyed like getting to know people, like all the undocumented people, like gauging what it's like to be in their position. Like prior to the project, I had like a faint idea of what it was like being undocumented, and I feel as though the project gave me like a better perspective as to what it's like.
Yeah, I think I agree in that, like meeting people, and I just like working with people and talking to people. So I've enjoyed, like I've had some nice chats with people and stuff. That's been nice, even if it is on Zoom. Yeah. What about you, Ibrahim?
And I think I agree with both of you, as I'm so happy because I meet a different nationality, different ethnicity. I know interacting with other, learning more and more about these undocumented people. I've been living with them for the past years, so I'm so excited when short opportunity came up to know exactly, maybe put it in pen and paper in written form, to know how they feel, what are some of their constraints. I can say partially I was part of them, so I was so happy, and I'm so delighted to be part of this first type of research in Manchester, or if not Manchester, the the UK as a whole. First type of research to talk about undocumented people, especially at this pandemic, this difficult moment in time. So I'm so happy. I've learned from each and every one, all the facilitators, from the people that we do the research with. So it was so amazing moment for me being around you people.
I also feel as though knowing the hardships that people have been through and the sacrifice they've made is really made me become a lot more empathetic as a person. Like I said prior to this, I had a faintest idea of like what it was like, and I feel like I can understand people a lot more, not just the undocumented people, like just people in general. And it's made me look things through their perspective and sort of opened my view to it all. And those are the kind of things that I really would like to take. Like, they're the most important things I've taken from like this project.
Sweet, nice. Hi, Chinar and Amang. We're just talking about our favorite part of the project. We're just going through like a series of questions and just going to chat about our experiences, basically. So I don't know if you want to add anything to this one, or if you want to wait for the next one.
Sorry, the favorite part for me is that is document the reality of the life of these people. That is a good point from this project, and that is we are open door in the front of the people. They don't know what is the situation. Just we are covering ourselves in a to protect ourselves, but we don't see other side of the life of this kind of people. And the trust is from the this kind of people without anyone. It's like until we are with fresh trust this couple of people to talk for us. That is a big issue. And this kind of hiding yourself just to protect, just not just from the COVID, from the government as well. That is another second COVID for life of this kind of people. That is one of the things for me. as much I managed to document the live couple of this kind of people. That is like for first question. That is I prefer. That is a favorite part of me. Plus, I've done a like a documentary about these people, and this video they will stay, and this kind of this never been forgotten. And now is you have a package there. This could be stay for as much as long and push the system to, if they can't see it that is in front of you, any day you want to go back to it and see the reality, what you're doing with this kind of racist side or whatever, we are close our eye on it, but it's now it's in front of you. That is a great job for me. I enjoy it.
Should we, I think some of what you said, Amanj, does like tie on to the next question really well about the hardest moment or what we found or the hardest feeling or element of the work as well, because obviously with the good times comes the hard times. So what do people find most difficult about the project in terms of like their reaction to it or the work itself, whatever?
Like you said, Maddie, the whole good part does come with a bad. Like I said about the whole like clear perspective and more empathetic outlook on life sort of thing that the project has given me. It also has given me like a lot of grief, as in like hearing these stories from people and the things that I've been exposed to. I've been exposed to like what life truly is for undocumented people, and it really does sadden me because hearing these stories, like coming from someone as like who's obviously got like a lot more than what they do, it really does sadden me a lot. Like, for example, when I was speaking to Jeffrey, who's had to sacrifice like his career, and he's been in the country for like 15 years as well, and like he's not been back to the Philippines in 15 years. He hasn't seen his kids in like 15 years, and it's them kind of stories that like really do saddens me. But I feel as though these sort of things come part and parcel with a project like this when working with these people. And I feel as though like these are really the things that people need to take into account. These are the things that people need to like be aware of when it comes to these sort of things, and how like just how hard they generally have it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I found the hardest bit more about the way that we've been working, and probably to do with COVID, but I found it really hard being so separate from everyone, that I found it hard to, because projects like this, you have to do them so right, otherwise they can be really wrong. Like projects like this can run in a way that's like really extractive, that like takes people's stories or like uses people, or like they can be like that, like arts projects. So I felt very conscious throughout it of like how the ways that we're working and making sure that it is participatory and that people know what's happening and that people want to be part of it and all these kind of things. And I feel like getting that consent and working with people in that way when you're separated, because you have to be on screens in different places and you can't be together, is so much harder. So I found that really tricky to kind of be sure that we're definitely doing all of this in the right way. Even though I know everyone involved has the right intentions, it's just like, you've got to be so careful, haven't you, that you're not like bad.
Ibrahim, you muted.
Ibrahim, yeah.
I think for me, the most difficult part about the project is first identifying these undocumented people. Try to talk to them, maybe to convince them and say, hey, because some of them are afraid for their information to be publicized. maybe they think the Home Office or other people can just extract the information and give it them to the Home Office. Like try to build a confidence that, okay, see, this is what we are going to do, and this we are not going to expose you, something like that. It's one of the most difficult challenge we faced during this project, because some people are there that are undocumented, but they know how to know, okay, this project is about social, it's about your own. We are not going to tell anybody or explain to the Home Office, this is that. And also, language barrier counts a lot in the project. We face many difficult challenges during this project because of language barriers, because most of these undocumented people, their background are not from English-speaking countries. So it was very difficult getting around with them, talk to them, and see how best they can manage their information, especially people that come from the Arabs or maybe French-speaking country. Although they have been here for so many years, their language skill is still not good enough, if I may use that one. So it was very difficult for us going through that process. And also for me personally, the technology, my know-how in using technology is very, very difficult. I've used to like face-to-face. So that was one of my most difficult challenges. I used to complain sometimes. I'll call Feresta, Maddie, I don't know how to do this, so I don't know how to do this. So, but as the project go home, I learned a lot, and with the help of Jumil and the whole crew, others, I learned from them what to do, because my level of technology, I can say, is not that very good. You know, this is a new type of system. We never knew about Zoom, how to record in Zoom, what is Google Drive, all these stuff. So it was very, 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 very frustrating for us, very frustrating. So these are some of the challenges we face. And some of these people, not that they don't want to come out, they like being out, but their fear is, if we go out, what will happen? You know, with all this, so it gives a lot, especially the Ferresta and Mad, because they are art project officer, and Jamil, you have an amazing job. I know you can identify the problem is one of the main, one of the basic, but the most paramount thing is how to solve it, because you can identify these undocumented people. I can still remember how is it the first or second person in the project when it came, like it was Kwame when it came on. So first of all, say, oh, we need to give it a course to think about it. So I tried to talk to Kwame like almost almost 2 months before he can finally say, okay, I've known what the project is about. I know I'm secured. So the building trust between we and those people was one of the most difficult challenge we faced. But with the help of all the crew as a teamwork, we did our best and see how best we did to combat the situation and handle all the hurdles we face. I think we are great people. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to all the crew. I'm so appreciated being among you, learn, and I don't know what to say, but it really trust me. There was one lady, I can't mention her name because of security. The first day I spoke with her, she was crying. I just put up the phone and I even transferred to Feresta and Dr. Rita, but she can't hold on because she was in a very terrible situation. How can they ask someone to pay for like medication? How can they ask someone not to go to the hospital, no shelter, nobody to give you food? And UK is not like our country back home. We are in, like back home where we came from, like when you say Africa specified, if you don't have food, you can go to your neighbors, they can give you money. But UK, what I learned about UK, nobody will give you one pound for nothing. So how can they expect such people to live? But thank God we are on it and we made it. Thanks. I think I can stop here.
Going from what Ibrahim said, the whole when working with these people, like you said, the digital divide is like an issue, like very much an issue. Is like in just knowing, obviously without being able to meet, it's then what would be our next like best option? It would be either through Zoom call or calls, but in these situations, like what, like we would have the equipment, we have like the necessary things, we'd have phones, we have computers, but what do they have themselves, and sometimes if they don't have these things, the process of getting this work going is very difficult, because certain people, like, obviously certain people don't know how to work computers, certain people don't even have computers, and it's just a struggle trying to get this work going sometimes. But I feel as though like we have done enough with what we have, with what we had available to us.
Sorry, for me, it's a little bit different from because you've been more involved directly with these people. It's like the big part for me is when I've done the interview with Bilal and Halwes. It was the life of these people is waiting for you to make a big change inside this situation. And when you can't make big change, and it's your position is not you in a government or you have a big power to change the system all for another direction. That was affected too much on me. That is when I've listened, keep listening to the video editing, and affected more deep other side. One side is the life in this country is continue by this way of these people, and from other side you can manage to do big change in his life and keep his waiting and direct you this question again. And that is what I've been, for me, it was too much. The other side is cover back is because at least I've done something to make a movement in this situation and wake up other side of the government, or at least if it's education for this kind of people, racist side is not just is looking one side, we are coming for the work, or is not see why these people is living in this country, why is accepting this situation to stay in this suffering life here again, is they think is better than this situation in back home. And this kind of issue, some people they don't want to understand it. Some people is understand it. Is the other side is educate the people for this kind of documenting, or from the film or from whatever you recorded by paper or writing, whatever. That is a great job as well. And it's like a good side and bad side as well for all of us. Well done. Good job for all of you. I think it was a tough time, and as well it's a good time. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Chinar. Participated in a project translating the interviews, and for me, I think the most important things was I did something. I felt like since I've been here in UK, I wanted to say something about this problem of people are here and their voices are neglected or kept silent. And when you look at the social media and everywhere, and in the UK, they want to show that everyone is included. There is nothing called racism. Life is nice and equal, but underneath, this is what's happening. And through this project, because I've been through the whole kind of like trouble of having my status sorted for in UK since I've been here, I felt like I did something great, because finally I could do something about it and participate in giving, raising the voices of the homeless people or the asylum seekers and document it, so that the whole community know that this is really truly going on and it's time to do something about it. So I think for me, if I just make it short, it was empowerment, challenges and voices, engagement, diversity, and also to create positive images for everyone. I mean, for the work that we are all doing. It's not just saying this is not right, it's just what to do about it for our future generations and the whole community. Thank you.
Thanks, Chinar. So the next question is, what did we discover while working on this project? Either about the project, about ourselves, or about other people. So what do we feel like we've discovered or learned, I guess would be another way of saying it, from this process? We've discussed quite a lot of learning already, but if anyone has anything they want to add.
I discovered how bad the situation actually is in terms of like how like big and widespread it actually is. This was prior to the hard lockdowns towards the end of the year. Now with these lockdowns and the restrictions, I just feel like it's just really gotten worse. I also discovered that I do believe that all these things can be very much avoided. I very much believe that the government can do a lot more, and they just choose not to. They just choose not to address these issues, which has made me grow a bit resentful towards the government because for letting this just happen. Because really and truly, like, there is enough spoils in this country for everyone. I feel as though everyone that comes here, whether seeking asylum or however, there is enough in this country for people to prosper. And I just feel like the government just don't want to do that. If anyone else would like to add.
I think going off something that someone said on the last question, I think something that I've definitely become more aware of in this project is like how important it is to build trust and relationships with people in order for this work to feel like a genuine exchange, and for people to feel able to kind of say what they are and aren't comfortable with and stuff. You need to have that relationship with people, and I think it's so fundamental to doing work like this is building relationships. And I think it does take a while, like Ibrahim, you were saying, like with Kawame, obviously we met him and then like 3 months later he was like, yeah, cool, I'm happy to do it. And I think people underestimate how much time it takes to build trust and relationships, and I think those things take time, but they're really important things to do in order to be able to work with people, as opposed to just like
the trust thing was a big hurdle as well. I feel as though like a lot of the people that I've worked with, a lot of them were very reluctant initially, and obviously I feel as though like when you're telling someone about the project, you obviously need to let them know what the project is, what we'd be doing. And I feel as though from my experience with it, a lot of people are very much reluctant to tell their story. But obviously you get the nice people that are just really willing to help and willing to tell their story, and oftentimes like they don't know what they could say or how they could help, and it's just trying to reassure them that it's not about like let me interview you or let me know about you. It's more like I want you to feel comfortable enough for you to tell me about you, sort of thing, rather than let me just ask you a bunch of questions Like I wanted them to feel comfortable to tell me about them and not feel as though they have to. And I feel as though a lot of the people that I have approached to with this project, I feel as though that's what they were initially thinking, and it's what made them not want to get involved.
Well, I think in my own perspective, I feel like this project really helps to let these people know their fundamental human rights, like that this is what and what you are entitled to, because most of these people, their right has been seized unknowingly to them, because most of them don't know their rights. Most of them, their thinking was, if I do this, I'll be deported, I'll be sent back to my country. Although yet it was very difficult for us getting there, know what and what they need. But you look at the old system in the UK, this hostile environment, it looks like the painting out the outer surface is so good that it's glitter, everything is okay. But when it comes in depth, it's something different from what the government is talking about. Maybe the government will say A is A, but when it comes to the real life on the ground, A is Z. So these people has been used, has been like deprived from their human rights. So I think this project helps them or helps us to bring them together to let them know that this is your right and this is what and what you're entitled to, and this and this and this. Although it was not easy for us, but it helped us to bridge the gap between the Home Office, which is the government, and these undocumented people to know their right. Because most of these people, not that some of them really maybe needs more. For example, maybe some of their cases should not be sent out or throw out away. Yes, still they have right to appeal, but because of one way or the other, or what they have been seeing or have been hearing from other people that if you do this, they will deport you. So they just keep silent. It's like the most of them that if you talk, not that the Home Office don't know the way about, they know people like this live in the country, but just because they want to make it more hostile environment for those people, they just neglect them, and they know, oh, these people, they will not face us. And this project brings a lighten up. So no, even if you're undocumented, this is your certain right, and this is your limitation, and this is your limitation. And this is the first time of short projects to come up, and which really helps most of these people know that, or maybe others that will look at the project or read out the documentary of what we have done, will have the mind on next time, since short project will come up again and say, yeah, this is my right, this is my right. The Home Office is always trying, it's like two-way fighting. They're always trying to defend their own side. Why they know, for example, let's say a soldier can fight a civilian, and the soldier at the Home Office, they have all what it takes to defend themselves, all the weapons. But forgotten that those civilians to have the law, and those civilians are afraid to go to the law because of some certain reason. So this is how the whole thing is playing. But with this project, I believe if we establish and publish it out and see most of these people that are out there, the other undocumented people, will surely going to know, yeah, this is my right. I believe with this project, most of these things that we are fighting for will come to pass. Thanks. I think I'll stop here for the moment.
Thanks, everyone. Does anyone want to? Yeah, cool.
Good. For me, it's the change we have done in the raise of voice of this kind of people. That is a big issue, and it's like in a dark side of the life. You are giving a hope as well again, and it's still some people they want to give him another chance for continue and give him return back the power to continue with this life. Still many people is totally is looking different way than the system and the government situation, and this ignore and neglect that is we are not accepted. That is we are behind this kind of people. That is a big change this change, if it's how whatever is how affected on the system, but at least we are push something to make a change. That is a good point for me.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. Okay, I'll add something. I think end of racism is not a statement, it's a question for me. Yes, we all worked hard in this project, but it's a question to human rights 1951 Geneva, like protecting refugees and asylum seekers, applying for their rights, and it's been there, a law, and that's it. But the whole war business is going on forever, and everyone is shutting their eyes, and they're happy. Everyone is happy. Okay, there is a law. We're following the rules and orders, and that's it. And nobody goes further beyond that. And this project is going further and is asking the authorities and the responsible heads, or I don't know what you call it, individuals, organizations, groups, everyone, to just, wake up and just to, as we say, put dots on the words and to see things clearly and to do something about it. And I think this is something great, and I'm happy to be part of it.
One thing last, I'll say about we are cleaning the mess up from political, economic, and power people. That is our situation. We are working in an area is very messy, and that is politics is made of this environment. Is one person is running from his country, from his house, from his family, to stay in another country to accept. Just is looking for safer place to. This kind of issue is very deep point, and we need to work. Many people they hiding and running from this kind of situation, but political is for me is a big smelly area and very poison area. That is what we are always suffering in it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's so true that they kind of pretend that they have laws in place which deal with things in a good way, and they just don't at all. And I think especially with like what's happening now with us leaving the EU, I think projects like this are even more important because we're starting to kind of lay our own parameters for border politics in a more specific way, and they're looking pretty horrible. Like when you see what's happening in the barracks and stuff, where people are being held in like horrible conditions. And yeah, I think it's going to get worse. And there's so many stories that villainize migrants and villainize migration that come out in like mainstream press, and there isn't that much that goes against it. So I think, yeah, creating stories that oppose that narrative is really important. I think that's kind of the end, unless anyone has anything else that they want to add. But I think you guys have said some really interesting stuff. Is that a shake of the head, Ibrahim?
It's okay. Just I'm so happy to be part of the project. Happy work with different people. I've learned a lot. At least we made it. We made it. And I'm planning to see short project like this again in the future and help those, or try to maybe after the lockdown see all those people we work with and maybe have a big party and celebration outside.
Yeah,
the big, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Restrictions are getting lifted in March as well, so that's a good sign.
Are they?
Ish. Not like properly. Like you're allowed to go for picnics. Schools are going back in, and I don't know about household mixing yet though. But I think that's what they said. They also said that this lockdown is going to be the last lockdown. Like they're not going to do another one after this. Like they're definitely not. They said.
I just don't believe anything that Boris Johnson says. So.
Yeah, exactly. He says
Wait a
this. He'll say one thing and then another thing happens. But yeah.
For sure. Cool. Well, it was lovely to see you all. And yeah, have good days.
Is that good? Is that we all good then?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's all recorded. Fresh days.